Hey, what's up, you two? It's Dubk Said So. Something came to my attention, spell chronicles. Uh, Cordero, Vexy 46666 Infinite, Smexy, mentioned it on his video, and then I seen it on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, what are these people doing? First of all, I want to let you know that the hype for the card was a joke. It's like this: the card. Well, without dropping names, there are a few players in the game who have now made it their mission to play jokes on the people who don't have the dedication to the game that they do. I think they've gotten to the point where they feel like everybody is copying their style, copying their deck. You know, always messaging them on Facebook and doing that work for ideas and for advice, and it more or less gotten to their head, and so now they think they're above people. It's kind of like how when Yugi tubing first started, and especially like when I got started, back in 2009, late 2008. Every day I was getting messages. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, give me a shout. Hey, and if you're not careful, all that attention can get to your head, and you start to believe that you're something that you're not. To my best knowledge, to my best recollection, I never purposely took advantage of anyone or tried to give them false information, mainly because I'm older and I know better than that. But some of these guys, they're in their in their late teens, early 20s. They haven't reached that maturity, so they think it's just harmless fun. And I'm here to say it's not harmless fun. There's people in the game who are not at your skill level. They don't have the time and the devotion you do to the game, but they look up to you. You might think it's stupid for them to look up to you, but the simple fact of the matter is they look up to you. To quote that old Spider-Man line, power, responsibility, etc. You guys are popular, so people look up to you. And if you say, hey, I'm looking for this card, or hey, look at this screenshot, I did X amount of OTKs because of this card, people are going to naturally flock to it. And especially when you make the joke knowing that people will flock to it. It makes you come off as scum. And that's why when you try to be serious and you write an article on TCG Player or on ARG or whatever, people leave these troll comments and these shitty comments, and then you have the people on DNF forums and Pojo forums talking about how bad the meta is. You're running the meta deck, you're scum. You're a scum. You run meta, and you net decker, blah 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 blah. Those kind of things. You're perpetuating that attitude, because here you are, a popular figure in the game, running popular decks, whatever. And now, since you've done something scummy, everything attached to what you're doing is now attached to you being scummy. So if you're using a popular deck, aka a net deck, it's scum, and everything related to it is scum. And the people of a lesser mind state, the people who think that net decking equals scum, are going to associate all that with you, and anyone who does anything similar to any little thing that you've ever done is scum also. With that aside, there is a legitimate deck for Spell Chronicles. It's a super degenerate burn deck. It revolves around Spell Chronicles, Banisher of the Light or Banisher of the Radiance, BLS, and Chaos Seed, and any random burn card. And basically what you do is you manage to have one Primal Seed and a copy of the burn card removed from play, with BLS or Phantom Chaos acting as BLS, and Banisher on the field. And then you just loop the Primal Seed. You play your Primal Seed, get back the burn spell and the other Primal Seed. The first Primal Seed you activated gets banished, activate the burn spell, it gets banished. Play Primal Seed, get back the banished burn spell and the first Primal Seed, and you just loop. You burn for 800, 800, 800. You do it 10 times. That's 8,000. It's really degenerate. It's rather consistent. It's about as consistent as Gishki, is the Gishki FTK. It's about that consistent. You play all these cards to thin your deck, draw your deck, and then once you set up, you burn. And the stupid thing about the deck is, even if they can't achieve the burn, they can still wreck you by playing normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it still runs Soul Charges. It has rank 4, rank 5 plays. It runs Blackluster Soldier. It's still animetish. It has some stun to it because it runs Banisher. So Shaddolls get banished, Burning Abyss gets banished. So it can do some things. The deck can do some things. And that's just the difference between the application of the card and where the hype came from. I was on eBay just checking out the card before I made this video, and people are selling the card for 10 to 15 a pop. And the sad thing is, I'm sure there's somebody who has paid that for this card already, believing into the hype. So I just want to tell you guys that the next time you see a card being hyped, please, please, please test the card for yourself. The card doesn't work with Shaddolls because sending from your hand is a cost. It does not trigger the Shaddolls. It does work with the Burning Abyss. When you activate, you send to the grave. That's all the Burning Abyss care about, is that they're sent to the grave. Shaddolls have to be sent to the grave by a card effect. Burning Abyss don't give a damn how they got there. Very, very important that you understand that, so when you're on DN, you're not look like a total asshat for doing such a thing. Of course, you control around with the card and banish your spells and all that. And, you'll get the opponent, okay, well, now your opponent's in a situation where they don't want to play spells because they don't want to give you counters to get your spells back off the spell chronicles. And people might think that that's a serious interaction. Okay, well, if they're not playing spells, then I'm winning. Okay. But if they castle away your card, or if they Diamond Dire it, or if they've cleared your board and then MST it, you've taken, 2,500 damage off of the Spell Chronicle. You've lost probably some key spells unless you banish the other 2 Chronicles and maybe your 3 upstarts. I just don't know. So, see, I'm trying to get back into playing the game, but it's shit like this that keeps me away. I don't have the time that I used to have anymore for Yu-Gi-Oh! And then when I try to get back into it and I come across this shit, it's like, man, faith in humanity destroyed. It's Dubk Dad, and I'm out.